Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope you are hale and healthy. As you all are aware about that the situation these days is very grim and troublesome, given the disastrous pandemic which has taken the globe to its lap. In that very context, I would request every student of mine to stay safe, stay home, and stay safe. Now, let's quickly come on to our topic, which is parts of speech. It is for the students of class 9th. I've already written the definition of parts of speech here, and I've mentioned the different parts of speech because I want to reduce the duration of this lecture. That's why I've mentioned it here. So let's come to the point. A part of speech is the name given to a word based on its job it does perform in a sentence. I will repeat. A part of speech is the name given to a word based on the job it does perform in a sentence. Dear students, we know a sentence is a group of words, group of meaningful words rather. Every word performs a different function, and those functions are governed by these parts of speech. There are 8 parts of speech, and these are as under noun, number 1, pronoun, preposition, conjunction, verb, adjective, adverb, and interjection. I will repeat: noun, pronoun, preposition, conjunction, verb, adjective, adverb, and interjection. These are the 8 parts of speech we'll be discussing in this lecture or in the lectures to come. We shall start with the first part, that is noun. So students, you may be knowing, you may have gone through the various definitions of noun during your earlier classes. One of the familiar saying about noun is that it is a naming word, right? It is surely a naming word. I will write a definition, a very simple definition of noun. It is the name given to a place, person, thing, animal, feeling, and idea. Yes, it is the name given to a place, person, thing, animal, feeling, and idea. You know the name of any place, person, thing, animal. You are familiar with these names. Feeling, there comes love, anger. These are feelings. Idea, honesty, truthfulness. These are ideas. So this is the definition of a noun. But since you are the students of secondary class, only definition of noun won't serve any purpose. So, and we are also dealing with the functional aspect of grammar. Therefore, we need to learn about the functions of a noun, about the functional aspect of noun. A noun functions. What are the functions of a noun? What actually a noun does in a sentence? We need to learn that. A noun functions as a subject and an object in a sentence. Suppose this is a noun. It functions as a subject. It functions as an object as well. So, subject. Who is the subject? One who does an action in a sentence is known as a subject. One who does an action. The person who does an action, we can, in simple terminology, we can also call him as doer, who does something. And object, one who receives the action. One who receives the effect of that action, we call it as, also as in simple terminology, we call it as a receiver. So, a noun can be a subject noun, it can be an object noun, or we can say it can be a doer, or it can be a receiver, it can be a receiver. To understand it, let me quote as an example. Students, suppose you are in your class, you are in your school or class rather, and the peon rang the bell. The peon rang the bell. This peon is the doer. It does work. It does work. What type of work? It rings the bell. So this peon is, we call him as doer. This is the bell. This bell receives the action of the doer, receives the effect. We call it as a receiver. So peon is the doer, and the bell receives the action of the doer, receives the action of peon. We call it as receiver. Peon, doer, we also call it as subject, and receiver we also call it as an object. Also call it as object. The peon is the subject here, and the bell is an object there. So well, yeah. If we see the sentence once more, the peon is also a noun. Peon is also a noun, and the bell itself, it is also a noun. So it is clear that for any word to be a noun, in a sentence, I will write it as here. For any word to be a noun, it has to be become either an object or a subject, or vice versa. It has to become either a subject or an object in a sentence. So hope you may have got it, that for any word to be a noun, it has either to be a subject or it has either to be an object. Hope you have got it. Now let us quickly come on to the next part of speech, that is pronoun. Pronoun. It's a word that replaces noun. It is a word, students, pronoun is a word that replaces noun. But the question is, why should a pronoun replace a noun? Why should a pronoun replace a noun? For that, I will quote an example here. I will write an example. Say, Shahid is at the school with Shahid's brother. Shahid really enjoys spending time with Shahid's brother. Can you read it? Yes. Shahid is at the school with Shahid's brother. Shahid really enjoys spending time with Shahid's brother. Doesn't it sound strange? I think it does. It does sound strange. Why? Because there is repetition of this noun so many times. I can also write it as Shahid is at the school with his brother. Full stop. He really enjoys spending time with him. Let's read it. Shahid is at the school with his brother. He really enjoys spending time with him. Dear students, to avoid repetition of the word Shahid, I have written words like his, I have written he, I have written him. Students, these words, in order to avoid the repetition of the word Shahid, of the word noun Shahid, I have written his, he and him. These words are called as pronouns. So, you may have got it. What is a pronoun? Therefore, I can say that a pronoun is a word. A pronoun, I will write it as under. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun in order to avoid repetition and make the speech sound natural. This sentence sounds a bit natural than the earlier one which I have mentioned in my mind. I have repeated the noun sound. There it was a bit strange. So a pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. Why it replaces a noun? In order to avoid repetition and make the speech sound natural. That is about the pronoun. There are different types of pronouns. I will write them here. I, me, we, he, she, who, they, their, that, etc. We usually use these words, these pronouns in our sentence instead of nouns, so that the sentence becomes meaningful and it becomes a bit attractive. So this is about the pronoun and the noun. I think that we are running short of time. So inshallah, in our next coming lectures, we will touch the next parts of the speech. Till then, Allah Hafiz.